The most important part of any wedding film is actually not the visuals, it's the sound. Because the audio of people speaking is how the story of the wedding day is told. And the music that you choose is also going to dictate how the audience feels as they watch the film. There's also a third aspect of audio called sound design, and that's what I want to talk about with you today. If you want to draw your audience in and have them really be engaged with watching your videos, regardless of whether they are wedding films, corporate and commercial videos, etc., good sound design is what is going to set your film apart. Hey, by the way, my name is Matt Johnson. I've been filming weddings for over 15 years now, which means I've edited a lot of audio. And also, I want you to know this video is sponsored by my friends at Epidemic Sound, which is a fantastic site for licensing music and sound effects where you don't have to worry about copyright claims. Now, in this video, we're going to be talking about a very important part of the wedding day that has a lot of audio elements, and that is the couple's exit from the reception. They got married earlier, they've danced, all their friends have celebrated them, and now it's time for them to walk off together for the first time married as their friends cheer them on. And we are focusing on the sound design in this part of the wedding day because there's so much great audio to work with. But what's great is that what I teach you here can be applied to literally any other part of the wedding day where you want to add sound design. So let's get into it. Of course, the first aspect of audio that we need to talk about is the music that you are using in your video. I think that Epidemic Sound is a great choice for this because their songs are made by real musicians that you support anytime you download a song. And I especially like their selection of ambient music, which is really perfect for adding additional elements of sound design on top of. In this case here, with this video, we have footage of the couple exiting, and I've chosen a track that sounds celebratory while also not overwhelming, and it matches the moment of the couple exiting well. Check it out. But now we need to add some more audio elements on top of it. And before you ever go out and look for additional audio elements, I always recommend actually checking the audio that you've already recorded with your camera from the day. No, you don't need to have a high quality microphone attached to the top of your camera or have tons of mics placed around everywhere around the wedding exit. In my experience, the audio recorded by your camera's microphone will oftentimes be good enough to be used as a layer of ambient audio. And the good news is it's already synced up with your video, and all you have to do is unmute it and play through it just like this. So for example, I have this audio track here on the timeline that was synced up to one of my camera shots of the couple exiting, and let's unmute it and give it a listen. I'm going to mute the music here so we're only hearing the audio. Pretty good crowd cheering noise, right? For a wedding exit, it's usually going to be audio like this, of a lot of people cheering, which can work extremely well. But I do want you to be careful if your audio is too loud or too quiet, because in that case, it's in your best interest to check your audio from your other cameras you may be using, or you could even go to a different part of the audio. You do not have to use the part right where they're walking out. It does not need to be perfectly synced. It doesn't matter. You can choose different parts. It's called movie magic, right? That's what we're doing here. So don't worry about using the exact audio that you were recording. You could choose a different part of the crowd cheering, or here's something that may really surprise you. You don't even have to use the audio of a crowd cheering from the wedding that you're currently editing. If you have audio from a different wedding, you could save that and use it. Heck, you could even build your own sound library of audio from other weddings that you filmed and use those. That is a great hack that I have used in the past. Speaking of great hacks though, let me tell you about why I actually use Epidemic Sound, and it's not just because they are sponsoring this video. I had a wedding a few years ago where the exit looked perfect on camera. The couple was exiting with sparklers, the lighting was great, everyone was cheering, but then I got to the exit and realized a drunk groomsman was yelling something right into the microphone throughout the exit, and it was really inappropriate, and it basically ruined my audio. You'd be surprised how often it happens, and you can't reshoot a wedding exit. So to fix it, what you can do is go to Epidemic Sound and layer in some crowd cheering sound effects. And then whenever the couple watches the film, they never know that the original audio was is unusable, your wedding video will be saved. So you can think of your on-camera audio as really the first layer of sound effects, but it's never going to be the whole mix. And that's where the sponsor of this video, Epidemic Sound, comes in, because not only are they a great resource for music with over 55,000 premium tracks made by real artists, they actually have an extremely stellar sound effect library of over 250,000 effects that you can choose from to enhance the sound design of your films. And yes, save them if your audio is ruined by someone cheering something inappropriate. You need a real sound library for that, and Epidemic Sound gives it to you. In this case, we're looking for audio of a crowd cheering, but I want to show you one of my favorite Epidemic Sound tools that makes searching for music and sound effects easier than it ever has been before. This tool is called the Epidemic Sound Assistant. And instead of searching using a few keywords, you can just type a sentence like you're having a conversation. So in this case, I'm going to tell the assistant what I'm doing and give it context for exactly what I'm looking for. I'm going to tell it I'm editing a wedding film as a couple exits the reception. I need music and sound effects that fit this moment of the crowd cheering as they exit. And then we're going to hit search. And just like that, Epidemic Sound is going to look through the entire library of all of their sound effects, all of their songs, and it's going to give us exactly what we're looking for. And you can see here, it says, to help you capture the energy of that wedding exit, I've selected a range of tracks from high energy upbeat pop for a joyful celebratory feel to cinematic building orchestral tracks. I've also pulled some crowd cheering sound effects to help with the atmosphere. So let's give one of these songs here a listen to see how it sounds. Yeah, if we're building up and the couple's coming out, not bad at all. But let's check out these sound effects here too. Not bad. A little short of 4 seconds. Let's try this 11-second one. There we go. Yeah. This is more like what we want here. So what's great is we can go over here, click download on this, tell it, yep, MP3 is great. Let's download that one. Let's also download the first one here because we're going to layer all this together here. So a couple quick downloads. What's nice too is if you want more, you can say I need more intense crowd sounds or more cinematic tracks, more upbeat pop. Let's say, hey, give me some more intense crowd cheering as well, which might end up being more like a sporting event or something like that. So we're going to need to be careful. Yep, immediately it loads stadium, large football. Let's give this a listen here. A little too big. That's a little too big. That might be a little too wild to have. Maybe crowds at a stadium? I don't hate the clapping. We could maybe incorporate just the clapping of that and have it really subtly in the background. But let's stick with the two tracks we found. But you can see how quick and easy this is to use here. So let's go back over here. I'm going to import these clips. Here we go. I've now added these two sound effect tracks to the timeline. Let's give this a listen here with the music still muted. There we go. This sounds really good, but I will say, if you're really wanting to enhance the dynamic and energy of a crowd cheering, it's important to remember there's oftentimes an extra loud person in the crowd. It'll always be like crazy Uncle Larry or something like that who's yelling at an even louder volume than everyone else. And I think it's important to add someone like him to this moment as well. So let's go back over here to our assistant and tell it, hey, I need a person yelling happily. See what that does for us. It says search in catalog for sound effect matching person yelling happily. Great. Let's give this a check here. Woohoo! Woohoo! Sounds like Mario almost. What about this one over here?
Yeah! Wow! Yes!
Maybe not that last part, but honestly, the first bit, okay, maybe it's Crazy Aunt Martha actually. That could work. Okay, yeah, let's grab that one here. Thought it was going to be Crazy Uncle Larry. Nope, Crazy Aunt Martha works even better. Let me bring her in really quick. Let's give this a listen here now. Yeah, okay, kind of nestled her in where it's a little bit quieter here on the sound effects. That sounds really good. So it's just adding layers to things. Sound is all about layers. So you have the on-camera mic, and that's the first layer. And then we build onto it, adding a bit more fuller crowd volume. And then one crazy layer. Wow! That's what you want. That really gives me a good wedding guest vibe here that I really like. Do you see how easy this was to do? Do you see how quick the assistant made it here? We just went over to it and it basically immediately gave me what I was looking for, which was fantastic. And what's great about Epidemic Sound is that it's a simple monthly subscription, which enables you to download as many songs and sound effects as you want. So you don't have to be stingy when you're downloading audio to use in your videos. You can go through and download as much as you need that you may even think that you may want to use in your video and try it out. There's no pressure, there's no credits, there's no per track fees, there's no doing math in your head about whether you can afford it or not before you click download. It is so great. Even better, the Epidemic Sound license is completely restriction-free, which means that you will have a great peace of mind when uploading because you'll never have to deal with copyright claims and you can publish your video anywhere without worry. So you can click the link in the description below and use coupon code MWM50, all one word all together there at checkout to get 50% off Epidemic Sound for 2 months. This offer is valid till September 30th, so hurry and check it out today. Anyways, I have now downloaded all of these audio tracks here and added them to my timeline, and suddenly things are sounding a lot better. So we have the crowd, we have the exuberant ant. But hold up, because the couple is also driving off in a car, which I don't know if a 5.0 Mustang is super cool as a car. I'm more of a Japanese import guy myself here. But that said, it is a V8. You're going to get a nice rumble sound to it. And I think that's what we need. So looking here, let's listen to this audio. This is my on-camera audio that I have right here. So we're going to solo this track so we can hear it. Here's the car, how it sounded just from the camera. Honestly, not bad, but I want that like throaty V8 rumble here. So let's add that. I need a car exhaust sound with a V8 for the couple driving off. Because we know the context, we've told it, hey, I'm filming this wedding, I'm doing this thing. So now it is looking for that, an exhaust car, V8 engine driving off. That's what, wouldn't it be driving off into the distance? So let's see how we got it here. Rumble. And then it drives off. Honestly, that could work. It's just a revving car. That sounds like a V6. Yep, we're gonna go with the first option here. I think that sounds really good. Download. Notice here too that they also have a plugin for Resolve and Premiere that will download these sound effects directly into your editing software, saving you time. So check that out too. Okay, so we have the audio of the car rumbling as it drives off. So we're just gonna drop it into right about here, I'd say. And let's give this a listen now. There we go. Yeah. Just a little bit extra. There's a little bit more depth to the audio, makes the engine sound a little bit bigger, makes it, just brings you into the moment a little bit more, which I think is really great. And that took all of 30 seconds to find and add. Really quick, not bad at all. Last but not least though, whenever you reach this point in your edit, it's very important that you go through all of your audio again, okay? Because we've added all these sound effects, we have the music here, you're gonna wanna give it one more pass. Play through everything, check the volume levels for all of your audio here. Make sure that the crazy ant screaming isn't too loud. Make sure that the music isn't overwhelming. So that way, whenever we play it all together, it looks something like this. And then we go over here to the exit. Let's check it out. Really, really nice. Just remember, you don't want your music to be too loud or else it'll remove the ability for your audience to hear the sound effects. And you don't want the sound effects to be too loud, it's gonna be distracting and obvious that you use them. So you want everything to be at a nice balance. And in my experience, setting your music to something like -15 to -20 decibels, and then setting your sound effects to -5 or so can really help balance everything out. And that's sound design for your wedding filmmaking. Start with music, add ambient sound effects over the top, balance it all out, and you're gonna love how much more immersive your wedding films feel. Remember, you can check out Epidemic Sound at the link in the video description and get those 2 months for 50% off. And if you want to learn more about filmmaking, I have a lot of tutorials on my channel. channel here, and I would love if you would consider subscribing. I'll also link down in the video description to my edit videos like a pro guide. This guide is going to show you my biggest rules that I follow as a video editor to create better edits. You can read the guide in 2 minutes, and I guarantee you it's going to make you a better video editor. Thanks so much for watching, and have a